Hello friend, in today's video I'm going to be making the second part of the recipe book. If you are new to the channel, I'm creating a two-part video where I design a digital recipe book for my family, and I have a mission to gather all of those recipes and the new recipes that are in the family in a single file that we all can look for creating and recreating the recipes that lingers in our family. If you haven't seen the last video, I will leave the link here and also in the description down below, where I designed the whole recipe book in Procreate. In this video, I'm going to be adding the hyperlinks on Keynote. Before we dive into the long and sometimes, let's face it, tedious process of hyperlinking, I want to show you how I create the buttons I'm going to be using in the recipe book. I'm using the tabs and buttons brush pack that comes with all the presets you need for creating the best hyperlinks for your digital product. You have seen me using this brush pack mostly for making realistic tabs, but today I'm going to be making buttons. I choose the square shape with the soft edges that comes in the back, and then in a different layer I'm adding one of the icons that you can find there. In this case, I'm going to be making 4 buttons, one for the index, one for the kitchen conversions, one for the notes, and finally one for the stickers. I'm also using the same color palette for continuity. Also, I made some note pages for the recipe book using the notebook paper pattern brushes. This makes so much easier to create notebooks, notepads, and these note pages. Next, I'm going to export all the assets to my camera roll. You can do this process one by one, but I like to use Page Assist that is going to allow me to export the whole project with one move. Now in Keynote, I'm going to open a new presentation, any presentation, because I'm going to be customizing the file. For that, tap in the presentation name. Next, presentation options, presentation setup, custom, and here I'm going to be changing the size of the file to my recipe book size in points. Now that the file size matches the project size, I'm going to be adding the assets one by one, making sure to add the layouts in the right order, like this: covers, index, kitchen conversions, entry cover, recipe layout. Now I'm going to copy and paste that same recipe layouts 50 times so we can hyperlink the blank spaces in the section covers to each recipe layout. Then the next section cover, that is main, after that another 50 recipe layouts, and continue with the next section cover and the next 50 recipe layouts until I get to the end of the sections. Then I'm going to be adding the notes and finally the sticker layout. Make sure to gather the exact numbers of the slides in the free workbook I gave you. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I made a free resource that is going to help you create the best digital product ever. You can download this freebie in the description down below. Now I'm going to add the hyperlinks. First, the covers go to the index section. Now, in the index section, I'm going to be adding a square shape. Remove the filling and add the hyperlink tapping on the shape. Link, and here I can add the link to the same file, a web page, an email, or a phone number. I make sure to add the shapes for every section on the illustrations and in the tabs on the side. Finally, I'm adding the buttons like an image, and here I add the links to those images to the respective section. Next, on the entry cover, I copy and paste the hyperlinks for the buttons and for the tabs on the side. Next, I'm going to hyperlink every single white space to a recipe layout. I added 50, which I'm regretting right now, but remember that I have a lot of family and I want them to have enough room to add a lot of different recipes. As this process took me days to finish, I'm not going to show you the whole thing, just the final look. Now that I have everything ready, it's time to export the file for testing. To export, tap in the file name, then export as a PDF, making sure to tap the single page, include backgrounds and each stage of builds, and the quality at best. I'm going to export the file directly to GoodNotes because it's the note-taking app I use. Here I'm going to test all the hyperlinks and play with the file a little bit to ensure usability of the recipe book. So that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you find it useful and you got inspired and motivated to gather the recipes of your family in a recipe book like this. Remember that all of the specs and the resources I use for designing this digital recipe book are also listed in the description down below if you are curious of creating your own version of this recipe book. Again, thank you so much for watching and I will see you in the next one. Bye!